Today, I had the idea to build a castle on the Amalgam SMP. This took way longer than I expected, but the result was worth it. It all started with me messing around in a creative world, seeing what might work in my kingdom, Asteria. I already have a lot of houses and farms, but there was not really a royal place to live. So after a while of figuring it out, I had an idea. I logged onto the server, and that's where it began. After a little bit of terraforming, I had the spot ready for a building. I just needed materials. I decided on a block palette of smooth quartz, deep slate bricks, dark oak planks, and magenta terracotta. Now that I had my blocks chosen, all I had to do was collect them and build the castle, right? The terracotta was pretty easy as I already had a lot of it and I could just use the universal redyeing to redye it all magenta, and I got the dye using lilacs from my 2 tall flower farm. After finishing the terracotta, I collected quartz. This was a pain in the butt because I had almost no quartz. So I started by collecting around 80 stacks of nether quartz, and here's your daily reminder to not dig straight down the nether and to wear gold in the nether, especially if you can't wear more than chainmail armor. Anyways, then I forgot that I would need stairs and slabs as well as blocks, and I had to go back into the nether and find more quartz, but on my journey I ended up getting a little bit lost, but because of my origin, Elytrian, which gives me permanent wings, I flew around a bit and found my way back. Now that I had all the quartz I needed, I found my dark oak saplings, and using the timber mod on the server, it took me about 10 minutes to chop down a dozen dark oak trees, which gave us plenty of dark oak wood, and probably a lot to spare. And to finally, while the quartz I collected was smelting, I collected about 10 stacks of deep slate, which took longer than the terracotta and dark oak combined because it takes so long to mine deep slate, even with a maxed out netherite pickaxe. But I ended up finishing collecting all of my materials for the basic build. Now it's time to build. I started by laying out the castle and figuring out the shape I was aiming for. I found this cool mansion on Pinterest that I decided to base my castle off of, and just wanted to make it slightly bigger. I will put that in the description if any of you want to look at it, and there is a tutorial for that on YouTube if you wish to build it. After laying it out and deciding how many floors it would be, I decided what would be the accent, what would be the floor, and what would be the walls. I went with terracotta for the walls and quartz as the accent, while using deep slate and dark oak for the floors and details. After finishing the walls, I added a pretty arch thing at the front to act as the door or entrance to the castle. Then I built the second floor, copying the patterns of the first floor, but adding some enclosed balconies looking over the lake and fields. And oh, I forgot to mention that on the first floor I was testing out details with dark oak and accidentally shift crafted like 100+ signs, so I decided they needed to be the final decision on detailing with dark oak, because I was not going to waste all of that dark oak. No way. Signs are too expensive. But at least it wasn't trapdoors. After finishing the second floor, I figured out that the third floor was going to be more open and outdoorsy, like the reference, and I would just add some towers to make it look castle-y, and also I had to add the up and down parts because they're like key to making a great castle type build. Anyways, after finishing the front 2 towers, I made the back 2 towers slightly taller to give it a little bit of depth. And it actually worked, so yay, I guess. Also, super happy with the tower tops because they look like little crowns, and what's a queen without her crown? Now I had finished the base of the castle, it was time to add details. I finished placing all the signs, and after that, when looking back at the reference image, I saw that they had used banners to decorate. So I decided to add my kingdom banner, and it worked really well, but it cost me like 12 stacks of wool and 12 stacks of lime dye because I hadn't finished my lime sheep farm yet, but it was definitely worth the resources. After adding the banners, I kept getting creepers spawning, and the first floor was basically a mob spawner, so I fixed the interior lighting, and that gave me the idea to add lanterns for more exterior details. So I did. I decided on the final product of a fence with a chain and a lantern, which definitely fit the style of the build and the vibe I was going for. And another cool thing that I added was some canopy things on the top, which was super helpful while trying to place the lighting correctly up high. Anyways, after adding the balcony railing and some flowering azalea leaves, I had finished the outside of the build, except for the path and garden, so I decided to decorate the interior. Then I realized 3 important things. Number 1. I forgot to add windows, so I ran real quick and grabbed some extra glass panes and fixed that. Number 2. I have been wearing a silly flower head skin this whole time, which is not even close to my normal skin, so yeah, whoops, gotta change that real quick. And number 3, I forgot to put stairs. The only way between floors is to fly, which gets annoying really fast. So I added stairs in one of the towers. Once that was finished, I decided to go to bed as it was almost 2 a.m., but I woke up in the morning and knew today would be the day to finish it. After choosing some blocks to decorate the interior with, I did a simplistic and easy design using some warped wood along with some other blocks, flower pots, and custom heads. Once decorated, I started on the garden details, starting with a path that led towards Center City, and on this path I added a nice little covered bridge. And after that, I added a lakeside patio, and then I started on a flower garden and path around the back of the castle, adding leaves and plants to show the outline of the property. Now that it was all finished, all I had to do was put lots and lots of flowers in the part of the gardens that were empty. After taking many pretty screenshots with my shaders on, I was finished. I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it, and make sure to comment what I should build after this. Also, YouTube thinks you would like this video, so make sure to go check it out. See you next time!